shows, the crowd is familiar. They looking for foe. But once they only, I forgot what the fuck I said. I said something like that though, man.
You're not a real rapper then.
I ain't no real rapper. I'm retired.
You might as well don't even quit your day job, brother, because you're not a real rapper.
Sorry. I'm done now though. I don't do that no more. That's college.
Okay. Nah, you if you're a rapper once, you're supposed to be a forever rapper, right?
Nah, man. Only Rick Ross could.
Yeah, they rapping in their 50s now.
Fellas, it's been a minute, man. We back at it.
A minute? It's been longer than that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We didn't had a lot of things happen, a lot of changes in our lives since what? It's been like a year since the last episode.
It's been a year and a half.
We don't need that to happen again. But we back to it, man. What you guys up to?
Shoot, I think we up to a lot. Shoot, I say let's just open it with our moment of silence. I mean, I know everybody is used to that screen splitting 4 ways, so just say we take a moment of silence real quick before we even run it.
All right, go for it.
Let's run it.
All right, man. So, for those of you who don't know, as Tab said, our screen is usually split in 4, but we down one of our brothers. Unfortunately, Dr. Paris Gary has passed away and has left a big hole in the Perspective podcast, our hearts, our minds, his family, wife, children, Kappa Alpha Psi, the world. I mean, he's left a big hole in a place that no one's going to be able to fill. So we won't be replacing him. As a matter of fact, today, we just going to talk about celebrating him. So bear with us, audience. This may be a hard podcast to shoot. I know that, we're going to laugh, we're going to joke, but, today it's all about peace. So we're going to share some jokes, some laughter, some things that we probably wasn't able to say at the services about our memories, about our brother Parrish, Dr. Parrish. So bear with us. But how you two doing?
Man, I'll start. It's difficult, right? Like we geographically, our friends group is set up a certain way, right? Like y'all two are out there in the South together, right? Y'all can convene, see each other whenever y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? Me and Parrish and the Bay Area West Coast group / SoCal group, we all over here. So, just a little bit by nature, I'm used to talking to Parrish pretty much like every day, if not every other day, even though all of us do that, right? Like just sitting on the phone bothering him for half the day, you know what I'm saying? Or in the morning before I start my day, just bothering them, because we on the same time. By the time we wake up and start our day, y'all already 3-4 hours into y'all day. So that's an adjustment, like I said, that's a big brother role that is lost. And at the same time, obviously one of the guys. So it's difficult, but I mean, I'm trying to learn how to weather it and adjust to it. It don't never really get easier.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to that, I think that's just tough in general. Like, it just be times of the day where the nigga face just pop into my head. I'm driving or something, or, something like that. I just see his face. It's tough. And I share some of this. Like, we got a little app we use called Marco Polo. So we talk every day, like all of us, as Ty talked about, all the guys in the group. But we probably talk every day, but a lot of us talk on that thing probably daily. So you get to see his face, you hear his voice. So we on that app now. My son be looking for him. I be looking for him. And it's a big hole, man. So I can't imagine what his wife, kids, siblings, mama, how all they daily lives are, because minds have changed. But shoot, I can't imagine living in the same house with them or that kind of stuff. And that's just different. So as much as we going through it, I know they're going through tenfold. So, but getting by, bro. That's you know what I mean. That's kind of how it is right now. Getting by. It ain't been that long. He passed away in December, so it ain't been that long. But that thing still hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think back to Jeff, when you called me. So it was Thursday, December 28th when you called me, and you was could tell you had been crying, you were emotional, and you was like, "P gone." I just saw you said P gone. Um, the first thing that happened was just shock. Like, what? What do you mean he's gone? Where did he go? And so I think that P is what people don't know is like, with our Marco Polo, we're in constant contact with each other every day. We're constantly talking to each other. And so, one, I think, although we're in the South, y'all on the West Coast, it don't seem like it because we're constantly engaging with each other and we're constantly involved in each other's lives. I think our group has been um, built on vulnerability amongst each other. So we talk about everything,
Yeah.
and so when I think about P randomly calling me with a hypothetical, hey, what about this? What you think about this? Or what about that? Or, us both complaining about, our dissertation committees and our process and, going through that journey together, man. And, not getting those phone calls, not laughing, talking about something goofy, something stupid. Those religious debates that you guys was having, man, that's hard because for me, I was the last one to the group as far as meeting P. He's part of your chapter, and so meeting P later on in life, and then us becoming click tight so quick. That losing him, man, was extremely extremely hard. It was probably, I think that's one of the first. That's the first brother, as far as in our bond that we lost, and so I think it shook up the group in a way. And Lord knows what it's done to his parents, his siblings, his family. And shouts out and prayers to Angela. I mean, I know she has, been going through a storm, and every day it's a different day. Some days she wake up with rainbows and some sunshines, and some days it's a tornado for her. And so, and they just got married, man. So that's extremely hard, man. So I think about that stuff all the time, man. The kids, them dad, their father no longer being here, and us having to step into that space and be the presence that we can as much as we can for them. And after the services, y'all was able to go to the basketball game, so that was pretty dope.
Yeah, shout out to I mean, obviously the kids, um Parrish's wife Angela, Parrish's child's mom Nikki as well, and also shoot Jasmine as well. I mean, all the moms, I feel like one thing that I really appreciated about uh Parrish's village when it came to his wife, mother of his children, all of that, they all came together and united, and they kept, a front, a united front with each other to make sure that everybody was aligned and everybody really rallied around those kids. And I think that was one of the hardest parts. Like, I mean, obviously we're gonna tear into so many different pieces on this, but in general, you have a grown man child, right? And Jaden, who's in his third year of college, and is hitting his own stride. And then you also have Justin, who's basically little Tab's age. I mean, like, to just watch that whole thing come full circle and watch those different range of emotions. I mean, I really am proud of those kids because I think at times they handled it better than us. And I mean, they have less life experience and they took the biggest loss out of all of us, but they handled it better than us. And I think that's just a nod to Parrish as a parent. You know what I'm saying? When you look at these young men from the oldest to the youngest and you watch their level of preparation and how they're able to navigate and manage their emotions in this situation, I mean, really, it's they did it in such grace that they just have to be commended for that. And I mean, I know that the moms are involved and I'm not taking that away from them, but the way they handled that was their dash trait. But some of that also too, as I know we'll get into, is also that tough exterior that we got to break down when we start going through these things as Black people, and let those tears come out and let those emotions come out, because just because we know how to be guarded, sometimes being emotional is just as healthy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
them kids was impressive, bro. Like even like at the service, I had a hard time. Like I had to look down at the floor sometimes, like couldn't look certain people in the eye, like yeah, you know what I mean, like those kind of conversations, man. But like when Justin walked into the room, and then when Jaden got there too, it was like man, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I know they felt it, but they had a kind of this like this grace to them, like they knew they was gonna be all right, but it's tough.
Yeah. Jaden definitely handled it better than us three. You know what I mean? Uh, you know, Taff and I, man, we couldn't even make it to the walkout. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was, man, Jaden handled it, you know, as best as he could in probably one of the worst situations in his life. Justin as well. And so, and I think, just watching Angela, get on that stage and talk, and, she didn't have to. I'm probably, most people probably told her not to, but her being able to get up there and speak as she was in the middle of a storm, that speaks a lot to his impact, right? Because when I really think about, P wasn't about drama. P wasn't messy. P just wanted to kick it and have fun. P was nonchalant. P was just chilling, right? And so you see that when you see his wife and his kids, just that impact, because P was just about kicking it and having fun. And so, that's the things that we want to remember him. I know, his services are always going to be in our heads, but it's more importantly that we remember all the good and funny stuff, that we had. I think we all last kicked it for my birthday in July. And so, Taff and P, y'all flew out here to Texas. Man, we kicked it the whole we kicked it hard.
Shout out to the whole Texas, man. That shit was lit every time it's lit. But just to touch on that too, I did want to go back to that, like the poise of a wife, right? Like we don't know, or the poise, let's just call it the poise of a spouse. I mean, when we saw Angela up there, she was able to tell the story and help us all put together some of the pieces that we were wondering and we didn't feel comfortable asking. You know what I'm saying? I thought about, damn, like, what if that was my wife? Or, what if that was y'all's wife? Or, what if you guys had to get up there for your wives and stuff like that? Like, that's a tough situation. And I think one of the things is that we undoubtedly, as a crew, as a community, have been getting hit with some crazy, unexpected, young fucking losses in general. And the part of me, you know what I'm saying, that I just want to put out there as we talk about it, is it starting to speed life up and make me less appreciative of the process of life and just waiting for the next hit or preparing for the next storm, because now we're looking at it like, I mean, we can go back. Like I had my dad's situation. At least there's some things about that I was able to prepare for. Wasn't able to really prepare for Parrish's situation. Wasn't really prepared for Jeff's brother's situation, and then all of just the losses that we still lost in COVID from now. We took a lot of shit over this past from like 2019 until now. And honestly, I have to, and I don't know if y'all feel the same way. I'm just opening up the floor to that. And it's just kind of like, how do we slow it back down where we start appreciating life again? Because it's not that I'm not grateful for life, but appreciating it and the process of it, everything is kind of like moving very fast, and it does get difficult at times because too much shit happens to us. So you got to always stay on your toes.
I mean, the thing with that is, Tab, like joy only come in pockets, bro. Like a lot of times, the good times of laughing and joking and having like everything being euphoric, it only lasts. It's a short pocket. Most of the time, nigga, life is just tough. Like, you know what I mean? Like the day-to-day things are just tough to do. Like you can laugh and joke. Maybe you think of 24 hours, maybe an hour out of 24, you sleep. You know what I mean? Like you sleeping there, you're doing your work, you with your family. Family time is a great time. But all the stuff you're busy, your mind's running. You think about what's the next move, what's the next play, how can I get rich quick or long term or whatever. Like it's always something going on. Then you start adding in responsibilities of being a man, a husband, a father, responsibilities that you got at your work job, your whatever, your entrepreneurship, whatever you're doing, all these things. So it's a very small amount of time where you get to laugh, joke, have fun. But you gotta fucking cherish them because they slim in between, bro, in a day-to-day situation.
I think because you don't know the future, right? You don't know what 3 minutes from now is going to look like. I think it's really about just every step of the way, every opportunity you have, man, enjoy life. I'm big on, trying to make sure I show up for the people that I love and care for and being there for their experiences. And even more, I feel guilty, not making it to P and Angela's wedding, right? Because P's my brother, you know what I'm saying?
Same.
And so, you know. So, what I try to look at it is like, hey, the time that you here, celebrate it, because you don't really know what tomorrow's going to be like. I mean, shoot, maybe we take a page out of P and Angela. You see how much traveling they did in that short amount of time, right?
They
They was
did
able to
hella
go out
traveling.
and explore the world and do all that, man. I think sometimes we so caught up in like our fear of living, man, that we don't live. And I think that's the thing that gets in a lot of people's ways, is their fear. You know what I mean? And instead of them focusing on what can go right, we spend so much time focusing on what's going wrong. And I think if there's anything that I got from losing P unexpectedly in the way that it happened, you know what I'm saying? It's like I have to make sure that I'm enjoying every breath that I get. I have to make sure those things that I want to do, whether it's, be more involved in the frat, or, get my son involved in things, or, get into politics, whatever the thing is that I want to do, it's now, right? It's not later, it's now. Like, do these things now. Me and P spent forever working on our PhDs. People don't know how long it took us, right? And shout out to Dr. Parrish, because he's no longer here with us in body, but he's here in spirit, and so he's always going to be Dr. P. Just realizing, okay, things don't need to take long anymore. Let's operate now, and let's take advantage of the now. And so I don't know, Tap. I think for me, it's made me a little more appreciative of life, and it makes me think about all the things that I want to get out of life. I'm 40 years old, man. I don't necessarily know what tomorrow is going to bring, and so I think that if there's anything that I got and that I'm carrying with P from P is make sure I enjoy it as much as I can.
Yeah, I
No, I
mean,
agree with that. I think DeJuan probably worded it better than I did when I talked about those little small pockets. But enjoy those small pockets. But he's saying in the moment, we're trying in the same kind of two different ways. But you gotta enjoy, like really grasp it. Like when you hug your kid, really hug your kid. Are you telling you love and really say it? Like, you know what I mean? So those are the things that I'm saying. Like in the moment, you gotta really like you know what I'm saying, dive into it.
but I think you said it in a way, Jeff, that's relatable to like, because we talked about how we were framing this episode before we got here, and one of the questions was, and how we poised it was, how do we deal with this in the Black community? I think that that's something that we should talk about as you start getting hit with this shit. And I'm just talking about, if we talking about in the hood, if we talking about just in regular life, this is the type of shit that people get knocked down from when they lose people or they start seeing shit around them like this, and they don't continue to climb, or they just start fast forwarding their life all the way out. I'm not in a position personally where I feel like that's my story or how I feel at the moment. However, when I look around at people around me that have experienced variety and a high quality, or a high quantity of death, they do kind of start becoming, a little bit hopeless or negative, or maybe just stuck in the area in which they're at when it comes to how they view life and death. Like, let's look at it just from an economical standpoint in the Black community. We got motherfuckers that'll be out here like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna spend it all right now because you know what I'm saying, tomorrow ain't promised. And to some extent they're right, but at the same time, some of it does come from some trauma. So my whole thing is like, how, when you have these events happen to you, do you continue to keep a marathon mindset for those around us that have experienced a lot of that, right? Like, we have a good village around us that is pretty good about being like, oh, you ain't picking up the phone for the next 2 days. Well, somebody that's local or close to you is going to be at your house if you ain't
Yep.
picking up by the third day. Oh, you
Mm-hmm.
ain't picking up your phone in 2 days. Somebody then already called your wife and made sure that, you know what I'm saying, ain't nothing crazy going on or y'all don't need anything. What about those that don't necessarily have what we have? Because although everybody has friends groups, and I'm not putting ours above anybody else's, I think we're particularly blessed in the type of way we structure it and the dynamics of it and the whole rules of engagement of our friend group. So for those people that experience that, like, how I think in totality outside of our group do we make the Black community more aware about how they deal with death in the future? Because
So
everybody don't have the same perspective as us, our
I think
perspective as us.
I think it's different though, right? Because I do think that we have a level of vulnerability that is important, that we're constantly preaching to people. As a therapist, I'm constantly telling people you got to talk about what's going on. So, when we first got the news of P, Jeff called me, and then 15 minutes later, well, I'm in the middle of sessions, right? So Jeff calls, I'm in the middle of session. I step out, I answer the phone because he know he know I'm at work, and he called. So obviously, if he calling me, it's an emergency, right?
Yeah.
Jeff's not going to call me from during working hours because he can see my calendar, right? So he called me, and then I got 2 more sessions, so I cancel the sessions, and from there I just start talking about it, right? So then Tab, you call, and then me and you spent 45 minutes on the phone just crying, and so I think the reality of the situation is like from that day until the services, we talked almost every day, right? About
Yeah.
how we was feeling, what was going on, how you checking in with each other. And I think those opportunities to talk about it helps the process of grief as much as you can. Now, most people, when they're going through something, they don't want to talk about it. And I understand. But, the realities is, we talk about stuff, whether it's whether it's because you want to talk about it or I'm going to force you to talk about it because I'm going to show up at your house. And the next day after that, me, Jeff, and our boy AK met, so the next day after the news, we met for lunch, right? Just so we can talk more. And so
Yeah.
I think when you're talking about how we grieve in our community, I think what we do is we don't talk, we avoid, right? I think avoidance is very common in our community for how we deal with things. But the reality is we talked and we kept talking and we kept talking and we kept crying and we kept talking and we kept crying to where after a couple of days, those tears were gone. And now we can talk about, okay, what's our plan? How we going to try to show up for them? Shout out to IO the Beta. Y'all was able to get these hats made, right? So we got these hats made, with P's wings on them, in a diamond, his club and all that, because we talked and then we was able to get to action. So I think so much about it is finding people that you can talk to, because if you can talk about it, then you can start to figure out what you want to do about it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think a lot of time, like when we lose people, and when we saying losing people, it's different capacity to it. I seen my mama bury my brother. That ain't nothing. That's like Paris, you know what I'm saying? Seeing his siblings had a mom bury their brother. That's not the thing you want to see. Like, you know what I'm saying, or my stepdad. So the losses hit different. And I think what's important about it is a lot of time, like we lose somebody, we going through something hard, we want to just isolate ourselves. So we can't, like, that's the thing. Like, don't isolate yourself. Don't submit to any type of abusive behavior, whether that's substance or whatever it is. Like you got, like the one I said, you got to tap in. Like we had another homie lose his biological brother too,
Yeah.
and we just showed up at his house. What y'all doing over here? You think we wasn't about to come over here, bro? What you talking about? You just lost your brother, so we gonna just pop up at your house. And he was like, "Man, I didn't want to see nobody today." But no, we don't operate like that. So it's that thing of not just hiding in the dark room. Because hiding in the dark room, man, you start running all of the stuff down. Like, you know what I mean? Like what I'm about to do next, or who gonna get it, or what's that? You know what I mean? Like all those kind of things. Your mind start racing, like, or it's just like you don't believe it. And honestly, like if you like a person in charge of the household, you gotta believe it. Like I gotta make sure arrangements are right. Like I gotta make sure the right people are there. I gotta make sure everything is appropriately set up. You know what I mean? Like all those things got to be in place too. But I think like DeJuan said, showing up or just like phone calls or video chats or whatever is important. But those things are hard, man. It ain't easy. You know what I mean? It ain't easy to answer the phone. Like, I don't want to talk, bro. I just been crying for 30 minutes. Like, oh, you know what I mean? So those things are that's it's hard, but it's the most healthy way to try to do it is by talking about it.
No, and I mean that's real. Like, I mean, substance abuse. I mean, people gonna drink, people gonna smoke, people gonna do shit, whatever they do. Hopefully, you somewhere just
Now,
back.
Tab, real quick, y'all know I don't smoke. I ain't smoked since college when my daughter first died, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put in the chat, man, I feel like smoking a blunt right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? When we first got the news, right? Like your mind immediately says, how do I go do something that's going to allow me to escape from this? For me to say I feel like smoking a blunt right now, Jeff was like, what?
Well, no, I think the reason that I was tripping on that too is because, I mean, the one thing when you said that and it stuck out to me too is I was like, now, based on what I know about him, he hasn't been smoking weed since the passing of his daughter. So that just let me know the level of where he was at. And just to your point, the substance abuse thing, like people gonna drink and smoke. People gonna do whatever they do. We're gonna do whatever it is or whatever vice we doing. At these times when you start going through shit like this, I know it may not be the easiest because it's an easy crutch. You got to manage that shit because you'll fuck around and be, you know what I'm saying? You drinking at 9 o'clock a.m., you drinking at 9 p.m., you drinking at 5:09 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be careful about that. And honestly, it was easy at some points to just be like, man, maybe I should just go this route because of the simple fact that once again, when I talk about my relationship with Parrish, that's like a Snoop Dogg to my Tupac tendencies, where I might be spitting at the camera, throwing up signs and shit. That's the person who's probably gonna send me out to take me off the ledge first. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that is like, now that I had this big brother person that governs how I navigate things, you mean I got to be responsible for all that shit myself? And people think that I just do that, or that's something that's going to come natural because I'm the police. Like, no, that's not how this works. Like, I'm a human first, right? Like, I don't do those things on the clock, but as a person, don't be fucking with me, especially when I'm in a vulnerable state.
Think about it like this: how did P come at you with the situation, right? So you call P, and you like, man, I'm about to do this. P be like, all right, well, hypothetically, I want you to think about this. If you did this, then how would that look, right?
Yeah.
And you used to be like, man, shut up, man.
Shut your ass up. Yeah, I would be like, because I mean, in all honesty too, right? We just have to learn better self-control. If I was to be honest, without putting name, dates, times, and implementing myself, I might just pack somebody out before I even call him, because I really don't want him to tell me I can't do it. So it's been that before too. But the whole point is, like you said, I just think about, and I wanted to kind of segue into them too. I just think about Diamond and Jock too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at Parrish like I was a little brother that wasn't raised in a household. I can't imagine what those two go through as little brothers, because he talked about them so much. Like, I feel like I know them in and out, even though, I mean, I spend more time around Diamond and I never really spend time around Jock, but I feel like I know them in and out. What type of tendencies they have, what type of shit. Like, oh, if me and this one's together, we might get into some shit because we just think alike, we do certain things the same. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like, damn, like all of these people that he impacted, right, from his brothers to his children to his wife to people we've worked with in the past and stuff like that. Like, he was pretty good at being able to help people navigate, I think, your rawest emotions or your most vulnerable points or your impulsive decisions, and help you calm that down and like recalibrate that,
Yeah.
No, I think that's him, bro. I think that was him. Like, the thing about him was like, he always kept his calm and his poise, and I kind of talked about that at the service. Like, all the things he'd been through in his life, bro. Like, life wasn't easy for him, but he never like was down on himself. Or like, man, like, well, my luck can be different, or what I mean, that kind of shit. So he always saw, I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, whatever the circumstances were. He never like gave into the shit. He kind of was like, all right, I be my dog, you be all right. That's how we be like, you be all right, and you know what I'm saying. You just keep on trucking, because that's kind of how he lived, and that's kind of always the message from him too. Like, to all of us, like, all right, you got hit in the head with that one, you lost this, that, well, okay, but you'll be all right. You still, like, what I mean, we still here, so
yeah, we still here.
You can, what I'm saying, fix that.
And then also too, when I just think about in general, like you said, his impact on the frat, it's so many of us from different age groups, and as we start to get a little bit older and the rules of engagement in the fraternity life has changed, sometimes there's a disconnect between us that are older, that may have experienced a different type of fraternity life, opposed to those that are younger, and all of us trying to search for that balance and acceptance and adequacy. I feel like he was really good at keeping that central gap bridge between everybody. You know what I'm saying? Where they didn't feel like that. Because, I mean, it's important to have somebody that's just like that middle party that brings everybody together, So when I think about stuff like that, obviously we got to figure out how people are going to fill those different type of roles and different shoes, because you're really talking about a person that was in all of these different spaces, that was able to bridge the gap and bring a lot of different people together. You have a lot of special people, but you don't have a lot of special people that have that particular skill set.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And I think that's the most important thing, right? It's like, to a certain degree, sometimes you feel like you're being selfish when you're grieving, when you know there are other people who have closer relationships, right? When okay, P has siblings, he has kids, he has a wife, he has a mother, right? He has family. You feel selfish, but I always think about just kind of looking back at, okay, who was P? What would how would he have handled this situation? You know what I'm saying? And then it's kind of like, to your point, Tab, I think we all, P was the older statesman of the group, right? So we all were kind of learning life through some of his experiences, right? with us having sons. Okay, we watch him, be a phenomenal father to his sons, right? And so shout out to Jaden and Justin, and so I think we were always watching and learning. And I think that was important. And so, that's kind of how I look at it. It's like, okay, what do I do with all this emotion? What I do with all this feeling? Okay, well, how do I try to like be involved in somehow, some way? Like, you guys obviously Tab for the, has a significantly closer relationship, with that part of, P's life, right? But how do we all kind of, insert ourselves to be involved? So, his sons know that, hey, he got some new fathers. He got some more fathers, right? We all are available to be here for him because we was his brothers. I mean, their daddy's brothers. How
Oh,
does
shout out
Angela
to him
know?
too. I didn't mean to cut you off, but shout out to him. He's in the comments. He just wanted everybody to know he's here. So shout out to young Justin, man. We got to watch him ball. Little dude got hard out there, man. Hey, but we got to talk about that real quick. His basketball game, that was the most lit shit sporting event I've been to the whole year. Them kids was out there shooting shots on each other, doing this. They was out there gang banging on the court. Like, they literally was out there banging on the ref because they thought the ref was making stupid calls. Like, I don't know. This kid's sporting shit, especially out there in SoCal, I don't know how it go everywhere else, but I ain't seen nothing like that in a while. But he played his heart out, and that just shows once again the measurement of that young kid's heart. We go to bury your father and have a funeral for him the day before you go out and play your heart out at a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just crazy to me that he was able to do that. And then also too, Jaden's in the comments. Shout out to Jaden, just being there to support his little brother, right? Like, I mean, I've checked in on him as much as I could, and filling that role. And that's another thing I think that I just wanted to mention too, is like, really look out for people's kids if you have the ability to. And it's not always about monetary looking out for them. I don't bother Jaden when I call him. He get a text every couple of days. You all right? He respond when he wants to. Yep, I'm good. Yeah, how's everything? You know what I'm saying? I don't, because I'm sure he's getting bombarded with long texts and essays because people want to get off what they ain't been able to say. And that's cool. I'm not knocking people for do that. But I'm just saying, like, take care of people's kids as best as you can. The one thing that always made me feel good, or it makes me feel good about being out there and being the police, is that if something happens to me, I got a real village that I know is going to start plugging and playing with my kids immediately. Parrish and my daughter's relationship, my oldest daughter's relationship, was impeccable, right? I mean, if I had to be honest, at some points of it, just even still being her parent, because we have to be humble in these situations, I'm envious at the patience that he was able to have and be able to fill in certain pockets in her life. And I really, really, truly thank him for that. I know how much that meant to her. I know how much that meant to him. And maybe just having all boys, he naturally gravitated towards that. But there's the space that he was able to be in and those roles he was able to fill when, she needed an outlet or different things like that. Because me and her mom were challenging her and different things like that. That is like very, very, like, I'm that's priceless to me. I'll never be able to pay him for that one along with other ones I can't repay him for. But that was huge to me.
No, I think I think that's the point I was making, is showing up for, his kids, showing up for Angela, right? You know what I'm saying? Making sure, that she doesn't get, forgotten about in this process. You know what I'm saying? And making sure she good. And hey, you need anything? Hey, we in town, let's meet, let's go have lunch or dinner and things of that nature, just checking in with her. And I know she got her community, her girl showed up for her and things of that nature, but just it's something to that, and I think that's our responsibility, right? Again, the podcast is called Perspective. It's not just because we were brothers in the bond, not because we, are just being frat brothers, because we actually, treat each other like real brothers. We actually rely on each other like real brothers, and so, that's just kind of how we go about it. There was plenty of time, staff, where you was like, look, I'm about to go, sleep at P house, right? You need something, hey, we lock in. And so I think that's just the case. When I, for my graduation, in October, P went out with us, you know what I'm saying, locked in, because we show up for each other. And so I think the reality of the situation is we show up for each other and we show up for each other's family. And that's a hard bond, man. That's a bond. And I hope and appreciate that more people form those type of relationships where they could be there for each other. Now, in these type of moments, it's hard, right? Because if you got 10 best friends, something happened to one of them, it's going to be hard. But I think that, our village in the way that we have formed it has always shown us that we will show up for each other, and when necessary, we will show up for each other's families.
Yeah, and shoot, Jeff, you got anything on that one?
No, I think as like Tab said, and I mean I kind of said it at the service. Like, it's us three,
Hey,
but it's
time out. Y'all gonna stop this shit, okay? Y'all know I got something cooking, and I'm about to fuck the city up with the next thing I got cooking. It can't be no more Taft for a while now. We need to get back to the AKA alias because y'all just be putting me in a bad.
You said your own name.
I said he can't be no more Taft. I said y'all can't keep calling him that. Whoever he is, stop calling him that.
Whatever.
If I sit there and let the whole episode be all this just, concentrated, it wouldn't be normal. That's not
nobody care about no Jacoby.
Look, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Don't be saying that, man. Don't be saying that. We got to get back to the names, man.
Get back to it.
We gotta have some comedy relief, man. It's been a really
it's a tough one. Yeah, no, I was saying it, and to hit on what both of y'all was saying. I kind of said it. I mean, it's us three, but it's a lot of other friends and family that he got that is helping stepping in with that stuff too. And I hope more people show up for it. Like I said, the kids and Angela, and, I'm saying the siblings, etc. And I think, like he did have a good village. So I don't think they're gonna go without whenever it comes to whatever that thing that they need. Or hopefully they just reach out because we gonna try to.
So Jeff, you know what that means? Then you can't be mad at P no more because he got your gun stolen.
How you get robbed with guns? He owed me some money, bro. Nah, he owed me some money, bro. That was like $700 in guns.
Man,
not one, but two, right?
Yeah.
To that point though, like. We got a crazy Houston story that shit was wild as hell. I made him take me home, bro. That shit was crazy. But once again, when I look at that last trip, because we be in Houston so often, I never, would have thought that was the last trip. But, whenever we did get a chance to go to Houston, me and P always tried to get there and do 4 days. We always try to do Wednesday to Monday. You know what I'm saying? Because we just want to take the time to really enjoy the trip. We have such a great time when we're there and stuff like that. But, it's sad because just trips that we have taken together as a crew, whether it been going to LA to handle business or whether it had been in Houston, it's, those are all going to be memories that are going to, we may do it again, but it won't be the same exactly anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or he'll live with us in that memory the whole time. And I just think about perspective in general, if we could talk about that. We went to Houston, had a whole photo shoot, rented out a dope ass house to do a podcast in. Audio wasn't perfect, but whoever you are, you remember that because you owe us one next time we back in Houston. That audio was not great on that.
Try.
But aesthetics was dope. We did everything we were supposed to do. And the way we prepared and some of the pictures we've been posting and stuff like that, like, man, that was just such a dope time. Like, you never really think about like how when you putting all that together, damn, this might be it. And then also too, just for the perspective thing, when all of this happened to us, perspective was damn near gone. It was like, we're not doing this no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all want to elaborate just on y'all's opinions on how, when that happened and what the thought process of canceling or what the future perspective was to you guys.
To me, there's no perspective without P, right? But I understood what everybody was saying, right? We won't replace them, but we definitely gonna keep it going because, as long as we're recording, those videos stay in the loop, right? I think since then we've all gotten like respective stuff in our feed, and we watch the video of us, yelling at P or telling P to open up or whatever it is, and so. It's been crazy, but perspective is us, but perspective is the brothers too. It's all of us, and so I think the reality of the situation is, the best thing that we can do to honor him is to keep, sharing the stories, talking about the memories, and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's funny. It's funny, right? Because there was when we went on the hike, they were asking, is there any stories that you want to share about P? I was thinking about telling the story when we went to downtown Oakland, Taft, me and you and P, and and we left, right? So a lot of people don't know that, and I think I had told Taft about this. So we left, You know, me and P rode together because P came from Sac to Vacaville, and then he jumped in the car with me, and then we met Taff
Yeah, because I had to work
in,
that day,
in
so I came
Oakland,
after
right? So me and P was there probably like 2 hours waiting on Taff to get off work. Taff talking about I'm on my way. Taff ain't even left the police department, right? So me and
I thought
P,
they was gonna let me leave early. They made me work my whole shift.
hey, that boy talking about making sure we there. So we waited. So me and P didn't had a couple drinks. So we chilling, we kicking it. We went to the little comedy show. We went to that little fish spot. We kicked it. We went out. So we leaving. We about to go back. Now it's probably like 3 in the morning. I think it was like 3 in the morning. We was out. And so we make it to Concord, and I pull over to get some gas. I'm like, P, like, hey, I'm gonna drive because you look tired. I'm like, man, I ain't tired. He's like, I'm gonna drive. I'm like, but you got to drive all the way back to Sac. He's like, but I ain't tired. So I go in the gas station and I pump some gas. I get back in the car. This boy P knocked out. Hey, cause he talk about I'm tired. This boy talk about I'm tired. He was knocked out, right? So we sat in the car. It's probably stupid and dangerous, right? At the
In the
gas
middle of
station.
Oakland?
Nah, we was in Concord. We was in Concord because
Oh.
we went the back way. So we both in the car, knocked out, 3 in the morning in the Bay Area with the car on. Mind you, we in the G63 AMG, right? So we
Oh,
hot,
yeah, y'all was
right?
tripping.
Knocked out. So it just shows, man. Like it was nothing but good times when we was around each other because we had been kicking it all that day. I think I flew in that day. Me and P met up at like 4.
No, y'all
And
met up way before then because I got off at 4 because I was on day shift. So y'all had been together because I thought I was gonna get to leave at 2 because that's typically when people gonna switch out. But the whole point is that I had to stay that day. And first of all, y'all know my situation. It's not a lot of people at that department that look like me. So maybe I had to stay that whole day because of that. Who knows? But the whole point is that obviously y'all had to kick it a little bit further than in the day than we expected, but we still made the hell out of that whole day and night because we went to a comedy show on the rooftop.
Bro, we went to like 4 different spots. We was out all day. You know what I mean?
And I don't do Oakland no more. So shout out to Oakland because that's probably the last time you're gonna get me ever coming through there. Like not unless I'm going to the airport. That's a whole nother respective episode, Oakland. But that was a good night in Oakland, man. I mean, we did kick it all day that day out there.
Yeah, y'all was getting it in. I missed that one. For sure.
I
don't even know how we ended up all getting together or what Dewan was there for, but it was.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was there for anyway.
Dayline wedding.
No. Not this was like 2 years ago. This was like 2 years ago. Yeah, this was 2 years. Matter of fact, Pete just told us about the wedding. He just told us that week about the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know why I was home, but yeah, I'm talking about we was at least together for like 12 hours.
Oh, you know what it was? It was your grandmother's birthday. That's what.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You sure is right. 100%.
Yeah, that's what it was for.
Yeah, man, y'all left the brother out, man.
Nah, man.
Hey, listen, respective crowd. These some suckers, man.
But obviously, too, when I just look in the comments and just different people that's popping up, I mean, really, the other portion of why Perspective came back is not also because all of us agreed.
Oh, I didn't even get to do my part yet. What I thought about coming back or not.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, go.
Hey, come on, Bobby Brown.
You know, I be cutting people off. I can't stop doing that.
Come on, Bobby Brown. Now, we was talking about it. I still got the text on my phone as we was talking about, like, was we revamping it? We changing the intro? Was we going to do them all in person? How we wanted to go about it? Text message with all of us in P, of course. And we was like, if we coming back, bro, we got to come back with a bang. You know what I mean? We was trying to figure out how we was going to do it. We were like, all right, top of the year, man, we going to get this thing rolling. Then my man going to meet God before we can even, you know what I'm saying, put the plan all the way in place. We like, damn, we just was about to bring it back. So for people to be actually like, when y'all coming back, what y'all going to do? And to me, I was like, hard no, 100% no. You know what I mean? Like
y'all were to begin with.
Like this one, yeah, of course. I gotta honor my mans.
Especially since we were just about to come back because P was like, nah, we need to come back. We need to get back to recording, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh man, I'm busy. I got a new baby. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. Man, my bad. I interrupted, man.
Is it who baby is it? Is it yours?
She looked like a mama.
She do look like a mama. But no, I was like a hard, people was actually like, y'all coming back? I'm like, man, it's a hard no. You know what I'm saying? After he passed. And now it's kind of like, I'm still on the fence, bro, to be honest. I'm like, it's just, it don't hit different. The screen don't look the same.
No,
you know what I mean? Like
this 3 shit is
the
different.
3, it ain't split right. You know what I mean? It's just one of them
shit
things.
ain't cut right.
Yeah, so but we got man, a lot of people was like, man, in my inbox when we posted like we was gonna drop an episode, people not knowing what it was about, other than what I'm saying, P Pitcher or people that didn't know that he passed, was like, man, I was telling my coworkers about y'all and school district people and
I was gonna shout them out for sure too.
Yeah.
That's who really kind of kickstarted it for me too. Is shout out to Vita and Emmanuel. They're close friends of Jeff's family. They're family to us now too. When we went to their house and she talked about her coworkers that watch us, people like we finally got to a point where we've broken out of the only our friends and family are watching this. And obviously, based on the viewership we get, we knew it was more people than we asked to watch it. But when she told me that, it made me feel like, damn, we're reaching people. And P had decided he wanted it to do ahead of time. And then I also got a call from Dr. Mills, Denise. Her brother used to do Street Soldiers in the Bay Area on Sundays, but she's also one of the older statesmen or elder statesmen from the Los Rios College District that looked out for us. And she was like, I think you guys should bring it back to honor your friend. People started putting that in our ear. And honestly, the reason why it's back is because of y'all. Y'all asked for it. Y'all talked about it. Y'all kept on saying, like, when is it coming back? Different things like that. And honestly, I mean, as much as this show is for us, it really is for y'all too. We talk about things that we think is important, but ultimately y'all have to really push the envelope on demanding that this comes back, even when we weren't necessarily sure or comfortable with how ready we were to do that. So thank you for pushing us, because honestly, what it really taught us is that we all had babies and educational increases in our life as far as degrees and doctorates, and we just had life was just life. And so because of y'all, we pushed that forward, but we also realized too that we can't just wait on all these life events to clear themselves up. Y'all, time waits for nobody, and that's how we ended up getting to this point where we pushed it forward. We can't continuously wait because we don't know how much time we really have.
Yeah, well, I think it was important, to shoot it today because, it's Pete's birthday, right? And so
yes, yeah.
making sure that we talked about something that obviously people were going to ask questions about because there's 3 squares instead of 4. But then also making sure that his birthday becomes, forever now and forever. March 3rd is P Day. You know what I'm saying? And so just making sure that we are celebrating P Day by, talking about our feelings in regards to P, but also, where we fit and what we doing with perspective moving forward.
That's for sure, man. I miss my dog, man. East Coast rap, he always try to cheat, like who the best rap group? Wu-Tang. It's 50 of them. Who else got 50 members in the group? Bro, nobody can compete with them dudes, bro. So we always be having them.
Nah, but that Method Man stuff y'all showed at your house, though, Jeff, Method Man was spazzing on that shit. I didn't even really know, like, you know what I'm saying, to come to East Coast. Because, I mean, East Coast rappers, they beats be so fucking trash. I can't get through the song. I personally believe a good rapper and a good artist and a good album consists of a good beat and good lyrics and a good hook. You can't just have great lyrics without a good beat. Like, I don't want to listen to this bullshit that you put your raps on. Like, I got ADHD. I can't concentrate that long on that type of bullshit. You got to give me a good beat so I can read along.
You about to get canceled. You about to get canceled.
Nah, bro. I needed to read along, man. I need a good beat. But I'm sure it's other people that feel like that. That's why these kids is listening to this bullshit they listening to now. They need a good beat to be able to follow along.
Now, P for sure will have you listening to some bullshit in the car.
Bullshit. His playlist don't get no play in the ride.
Not at all. Hey, we was so y'all was on a party bus for y'all wedding. Me and P drove because P, I don't know why P decided he wanted to drive.
He had to get back to SAC.
He had to get back to SAC, and the party bus was just dropping y'all off at the wedding.
He was smart because I had to get on a Barton red bottoms.
So me and P rode together. So I decided to ride with him, so he had to ride by himself. And so obviously in the car we talking the whole way, but he also got on some bullshit, some East Coast underground East Coast music. I'm like, P, what is this? Like, what are we listening to? We in the Bay, man. Put on some Tell Me When to Go or something like that. He was not having it, right? He was not having it. That night was crazy too because P's
the battery died.
Remember the battery died on the Denali, right? And so Tapping and was cleaning up, everybody else left, so it was just me and P because I rode with P. And so we waiting for the tow truck. I think we probably called that tow truck probably about 10. The tow truck
I think my mother-in-law got him that jump that he needed that night.
No, she gave me the car, right? The tow truck ended up coming. So this is and because of this incident, I went and got AAA, right? So we in San Francisco, because your wedding was downtown San Francisco. That's some baller shit right there, by the way. And so
I ain't no
baller. The tow truck came, and this is when I realized that AAA give you 99 miles or 100 miles, because when they put in the distance from where we were getting picked up or where P was going to get picked up to his house, it was 99 miles, and it was like, oh, it's free. I'm like, it's free? That's a far ass tow for it to be free, right? That's an hour and a half away. And that incident made me. I think I went and got AAA the next day because P's battery died in the Denali. So he had
you might be being cheap, bro. I think most of them give you 100. Are you like cutting on your insurance with all the luxury cars you got?
No, bro. These insurance companies give you like 5 and 10 miles. They don't give you no 100.
Yeah, because they're trying to get you somewhere local so that they can drop you off at a shopping.
Yeah, they just trying to get you somewhere they can drop your car off until you say. They don't give you. That's a AAA thing when they give you all the miles.
I think Allstate rock with you a little bit tougher too, though. But Allstate and AAA is like it. But you got to have like.
He got the General. He got 3 luxury cars and he got the General.
You got 3 luxury cars and you got the General?
I ain't got the damn General. At the time I had Geico. We got AAA now, but at the time I had Geico. I think Geico man, look it up. Y'all think I'm playing? Most of y'all insurance is like 10 miles.
Geico over here. Ain't nobody hating
Geico. Watch. I bet you it's 10 miles. I bet you got 10 tow miles.
I don't know.
I don't do tows through them though. We don't do no towing through them.
Well, if your car break down, unless you got AAA, that's who you doing your towing through. So that was the situation.
I normally use somebody AAA or steal somebody AAA. I don't normally do all that. I'm using somebody in the family AAA.
So you admitting to doing some illegal stuff on camera, huh?
No, because they just got to be there. So all I said is that they got to be there to get your stuff towed. I never said that they wasn't there, DeJuan. You nothing's changed. They still want to fire me, right? So don't help them fire me. They still would like to do that. Don't help them out.
That's called insurance fraud, fool.
No, it ain't. Not if your family is there. They was riding too when it happened. So they
they're right. They right. But to the point, P had us listening to some BS music for sure. And it wasn't Wu-Tang. It was like somebody else, Fat Joe Underground or something like that. Like, it was crazy.
Reggie said that all Wu-Tang beats is fire. You are lying. You lying. You lying. You don't have to be on here lying. You respect the family. We don't do no lying on this show. Stop lying.
He definitely lying.
So what did I mean, we all are well educated, Taft, psychology major, Jeff, LMFT, me, psychology major. What advice, would you give to somebody who may be dealing with this situation right now, right? Because as Jeff just said, Marcus, brother just passed away like 3-4 weeks ago, right? And that's, Marcus, that's our other best friend, right? And his brother passed, unexpectedly. And so we had to pop up on him, you know what I'm saying? He didn't know. He spent the night, kicking it at his house, laughing, joking, crying, all the good stuff. And so, what would you guys tell somebody who's recently just lost somebody that they love and care for?
I guess I'll start. I mean, as we all know, there's all these stages of grief, and I think they don't come in like a one way, like, be like, oh, I'm denial, depression, acceptance, etc. It's not just one day you might just be in denial, like, I can't, it's not happening. No, that ain't happening. Not P, he ain't gone. You know what I mean? It's that thing. Like, You going through that for however long, and it could be like today I'm like, okay, I accepted it today, but then tomorrow again I'm like, nah, not my boy. You know what I mean? Like, I just talked to him on the phone, or I just seen him on the video. Like, so it's more so like all these emotions are gonna come through you. Feel them. You know what I mean? Because emotions are supposed to be felt. You know what I'm saying? Think about them, process them. But don't go into that dark room like, or go in your room and close the door and don't let nobody in, because that ain't gonna fix nothing. That ain't gonna help you get better. That ain't gonna help the circumstances, whether that be like you got to handle services or set up things. I think most importantly, like Dewan said, is talking about it. But you got to feel those feelings, man. They're there for a reason. You don't have to succumb to them, but it's okay to cry. We black men, they be like, you soft, bro. That ain't nothing about soft. That's just about being a human and being a person that care. So if you got to shed once, two, three, or four, shed them tears, man, and then go ahead and talk about it because it's important. And then also, it's just like reach out to your community because other people are grieving too. Like I had to call, like I got a call from the homie Al, and I called Cliff, which is a line brother. Like, bro, we don't even talk on the phone. Cliff answered the phone. He like, yeah, bro, he gone. Call Tab. I ain't got no words. He crying. Call the one. He crying. Like you got to just relate because you want everybody to in this community to know, and then also where we can all get together and collect, like what we gonna do, how we gonna do it. You know what I mean? So the most important thing is trying to talk and then stay away from the darkness.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to, first of all, like Jeff said, we've cried, like maybe not all of our tears, but we've shed a significant amount of tears. We were not capable of doing this episode for you guys in January or February at all. We've cried, and we've cried a lot, and that's why we can get on this platform and have a little bit of humor and laugh and joke a little bit while we're here. But I mean, in general, you gotta take the time to heal. You got to be willing to accept all of the things that come with that, and it's going to be a lot of ups and downs. By no way, shape, or form are we or have we recovered from this incident at all, and we probably never really will. We'll learn how to function in a lesser form of ourselves, our joy, and our friendship, but we are not healed from this, and that's what you have to realize is that when you're close to people like that, you're going to lose a part of yourself, and it's going to change you. And your responsibility is to figure out how to adapt in a positive way, because it's never going to take away from the blow that you take, like in this situation. Nothing's ever going to change that. But you do have to adapt. You do have to heal. You have to think about the people that you're responsible for and that you support, and the other family members that are around that person and need you to help uplift them as well too. And that's what I've been doing. I take my time to concentrate on how I can be of service to other people in this situation. And when I'm isolated or in solitude, that's when I have my moment of depression. But I also find some light at the end of the tunnel to pick myself back up. I reserve space for myself to feel the lowest depths of myself because of the loss of a good friend, a brother. But at the same time, I also understand that I'm only reserving a slot of space for that time. It's an appointment. And once I'm done with that appointment, I have to get back to the things that are important. My family, my children, the other people around me, and my friends that love and care about me and that I'm responsible for, and get back on my shit. Because, I mean, for lack of a better term, the marathon does continue, and he was holding the torch, and we got to hold that shit up. You don't just stop and fall and burn out because he's not here no more. That's not even how he operated. So we back on our shit. We back on our grind. And I mean, we gonna still take that time to just heal because it's not over with at all. We just learning how to deal and grieve and do it in a platform space and by ourselves as well too.
Yeah, before Dewan go, man, crazy thing, like, and I talk about this like with couples and relationships, is like people are scared to love, bro. And I think that's an important thing. Like we really gotta, as men, tell each other we love each other, which we do in our group. But people are really scared to love and let people in because they feel like so many people have done them wrong. But you really can't live in this world or go through this space in life without loving people, whether that be not just your spouse or your kids or whatever, but others. And it don't even got to be biological. It ain't got to be none of that. It can be just people in the community. You got to, you know what I'm saying, be that vulnerable to love people because that's how you make an impact. When you make an impact like P did with these kids at the college, he was showing up. You know what I mean? They coming to the office, he's showing up. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't just giving dudes putting scholarships in guys' name because they worked at the school. Like he made an impact. You know what I mean? So be out there, be vulnerable, give yourself, and love on others, which he's done, and that's why he is who he was. So.
Yeah, shout out to Dr. Snowden on that one for organizing the scholarship in remembrance of him as well too. Yo to the frat.
Yeah, yo to the front on that. I mean, I think that's an announcement, right? That there's a scholarship in his name. Is it at ARC?
They got them at both of the schools, so they got
Oh,
one.
okay.
They have one at El Camino as well, and I think that Angela sits on their board to review like different people for that moving forward. And then BJ's got that set up over there at the Los Rios Community College District as well too. And then yeah, he's got both of those things rolling for sure.
Well, see, that's big, right? You talk about like legacy and impact, and his name now is part of this university system and part of different people's lives, from here on out, because there's going to be kids who are awarded that scholarship. And so I don't know. I think you guys know me. I'm a big on, if something's wrong, talk about it. And there's no such thing as talking about it too much, because the more you talk about it, the more you experience something, right? But you experience it in an outward way. You experience it by talking, and then you can laugh and you can joke and you can cry. I think when you internalize it, that's where the damage happens, right? That's where the depression kicks in, and the stress and the anxiety and the fear or the anger, right? Because I think for most people, when these things happen, anger is definitely part of the process. So I know that talking a lot of times can make a big difference, and finding those people that you could be vulnerable with is extremely important. So if there's anybody out there who is suffering with the loss of somebody, I would just say find somebody you could talk to about it, right? And they don't necessarily have to have anything to say in return. Just somebody who's willing to listen. I think that makes a big difference. I know in my field we got a lot of things. Try this, try that. Do this. But I think most importantly, foundationally, is just finding people that you can talk to about it. Don't avoid it. Don't get into kind of some of the avoidance habits such as drinking, smoking, gambling, sex, and working, right? Because sometimes people just go sexing. People was
sex
like,
is bad. Or is it bad?
I'm not saying it's bad, but I think sometimes it can be something that people do because they want to feel something other than what they're struggling with, right? And so they go and find that dopamine rush that they get from gambling or they get from sex or things of that nature. When the reality of it is, the more they're able to talk, the better they feel. So that's my message, to the world, is just talk. Again, please, guys, if you haven't, continue to do the things that you're doing that's going to allow you to grow and to push you, because you just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring you. So appreciate today, spend time with your loved ones, make sure you don't tell your boys that you'll see them next go around. Again, I feel bad, the next day after we kicked it in LA, Angela and P, and I think another couple, they went to a Halloween party. P sent me the video, it was cracking, and he told me to come, and I was just too tired, right? And I, just feel horrible, right? Because that would have been another memory that I would have been able to have, laughing at them at this damn costume party back in October. So, keep that in your mind.
There's also too, I know this wanted to be noted, and Black people and people in general don't take this as, oh, well, he didn't have no money or oh, this or that, because I think we all have negative connotations when these things come up, and that's another whole conversation about life insurance and death. But there's a GoFundMe that is up in memory of Parrish. Perspective will post that on their respective page. You can also DM us in the respective inbox if you want to get more information about the GoFundMe as well too, so that if you would like to support those funds and different things are going towards just miscellaneous things that pops up. Everything that needed to be done for him or had to be done has been done, but we will make sure that we do that. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, please let us know.
Okay. It's crazy because P was usually the one who would do the prayer for us, right? As we started, he was always the one who was praying. And so, again, you just find ways to continue to push those things that, people do forward. You know, he was always the praying brother, praying for us. And so, I mean, I'm gonna miss my dog, bro. I'm gonna for sure miss my dog.
Yeah, as you said that, I'm like, damn, that boy did that. We was giving him all the stuff, calling him a 5%er and all the jokes, man. And all the jokes we had with each other, bro. And the
But
analysis, no, any of that. It's just laughs, bro. And we gonna miss him.
who was we praying to though? Was we praying to the
Yeah,
Muslims or was
it's
we
one
praying?
God, man. It's one God, brother. It
But
could have
you
been
know,
Allah.
no, never mind. That's another episode.
Yeah, he's stupid, man.
Believe
Close
what
out
you
there.
believe. No, fuck that. I did remember my little rhyme. I gotta finish writing my rhyme though, but I remember my shit.
All right, go ahead, cuz.
What is it?
The open credits roll in the screen shows. The crowd is familiar. They looking for foe. But once they see the screen, they only see three. We take a moment of silence, acknowledge P, and let these tears free. When I finish writing the rest of that shit, I'ma finish it. And then you only gonna get half a bar. Fuck y'all niggas.
I mean, not a rap.